It came as an idea from our teacher shortage task force. And we began thinking, what can we do to help solve a different problem? And that problem had to do with the barrier, a financial barrier that existed for teachers. And we wanted to attract them and keep them. And so the idea came that let's have a license plate that would be able to generate some revenue, but also would spark a reminder that education had a strong beginning in Oklahoma. That's the schoolhouse that's depicted in Sarah Skaggs' work on the license plate. And I think that in that, we were able to also highlight the importance of arts education. So we saw this as a win in many ways.
It was about September of 2017 and my teacher came to me and she said, hey, there's a new contest for high schoolers or any student in Oklahoma to design a license plate. And like, I think you'd do pretty good at it. So that's what happened.
I get a lot of emails and many different things with contests. And I kind of weed through them and I see if, it's worthwhile. But this one, it was to support education and I thought we definitely need to participate. Only a few kind of went with it. And then Sarah was the last one. She was the only one who actually had it ready and turned in on the actual day because she stuck with it the whole time.
I think I originally wanted to do like a chalkboard, but I decided that was too simple. So I had like about maybe 3 drafts and then I got to my final design.
One of her original sketches, it involved like a teacher and like 2 or 3 students like sitting in the pasture area. But then we decided to focus more on the schoolhouse. It was like going back and to the original roots of it all.
It's iconic. It symbolizes the beginning of public education in Oklahoma. In the Ada area, we know that's an actual schoolhouse that began and opened, a one-room schoolhouse, the year we had statehood in 1907. And I know there's special meaning there. But for those who are unaware of the story, it reminds us of the commitment Oklahoma made long ago as a priority then, and it should be a priority now, that a strong, well-rounded education is something every child deserves. And in Oklahoma, I want to be a part of making sure that they get that opportunity and that we keep that a responsibility of the communities all across the state.
When the contest originally came out, it gave you a template to put, and you could either put your design, like your main design, on the left side or the center. So the numbers would be next to it. So that was the whole reason behind the placement to the left.
The schoolhouse is the primary focus, but the sky, the main reason she went with as many colors as she did is because we knew it had to contrast with the numbers.
It is a watercolor painting and then just a little bit of acrylic, almost every color of watercolor. I normally do animals or anything kind of realistic. I haven't done many like abstract concepts. Usually it looks almost real, but not real.
Well, the purpose of the education license plate is to keep the public focus and attention on education in Oklahoma. So we want to keep that in the forefront of everyone's mind, driving down the highway, inspiring them perhaps to be a part of a long tradition in Oklahoma.
I think it kind of makes people realize once they see it, it's like you need to support education because it actually says that on the license plate. I usually look to see what number it is because I think every license plate has its number. I think my parents have seen more than me. Usually I just see any that are in town. But my parents have definitely seen some up in the Oklahoma City and Tulsa area. They always send me pictures. I'm like, oh, here's another one.
Well, we thought it was a great opportunity to have students participate in something that is part of a well-rounded education with a focus on art. And we had students all over the state join the contest, and this initiative. Actually, 800 entries, and when that was then kind of pared down to the final, I think 12 that we had over a 2-week period, 16,500 votes online were cast for the winning license plate.
I originally found out I was in the top 6, so I was like, ooh, maybe there is a chance. But then again, all the other schools were bigger than Latta in the town, so I wasn't sure if the community and the population would have any effect.
I personally thought it was really, really good, but I had no idea what she was up against. I was really surprised for that reason, just because we're such a small area, and that's exactly what I was thinking, is going against bigger schools is difficult. When we enter big statewide contests, you just never know.
A well-rounded education must include the arts, and this is something we know is founded in research. There's evidence that when you have arts, the fine arts, music, it could be visual arts, it could be drama.
There's a great big world out there with all these opportunities in art that, we don't really see a lot of it at Latta. But I try to give them, the groundwork. I try to make my classes a relaxed atmosphere so they can do, very complicated classes, go to, their maths and their sciences, and then they can come in here and use a totally separate part of their brain. They can be creative and they can do it on their own, come up with their own ideas. And they use it as an outlet, and it just gives them a way to be creative. And I think anytime we can help kids be creative, that's a bonus.
It's also, I think, part of a strong public education, and we see that in those schools in the Ada area that have made that commitment.
I'm obviously proud of her because I think that's pretty neat. It's a beautiful design, and I think it looks really nice on cars. I have one on mine.
I see something that is really moving, and it stirs emotion about the history of public education. We open our arms wide and we say to the students, come in, and we take you just the way you are, and we're going to work with you as long as we have you in our classroom or in this grade or in this school. So it all is part of a very important cycle of investing in our youngest generation, ensuring they have the skills they need and the foundation to be able to then stay in Oklahoma and thrive.